Monday to Friday on CBS Reality.
For much of his adult life, Isa Kala felt as if something ominous lurked just around the corner. His fearful premonitions were borne out when he learned that an insidious cancer was advancing through his body. Isa had seen cancer take his mother's life, this after she dutifully followed her doctor's orders. Isa and his wife Rebecca were determined to chart a radically different course. It would be a massive undertaking.
The Gerson therapy is based on the theory that the body can heal itself if cleansed of harmful toxins. This detoxification is done through the liquid intake of organic vegetables and fruits. Further cleansing is attempted using frequent coffee enemas and other methods. German doctor Max Gerson developed this method in the 1940s to treat diseases such as tuberculosis, heart disease, testicular cancer, and prostate cancer. Many patients have claimed to gain benefits from the therapy, even in advanced stages of their disease. To employ the Gerson method properly requires complete commitment.
Simply, there was nothing to lose. Give it a try. Let's see what happens.
It is by no means easy. There's many details and lots of do's and don'ts, and it's extremely work intensive.
The majority of the work involves buying, cleaning, preparing, and liquefying up to 20 pounds of organically grown fruits and vegetables every day. The Gerson therapy seeks to regenerate the body by flooding its cells with the nutrients. Isa had to drink 1 glass of the fresh raw juice each hour up to 13 times daily.
Vegetables and fruits had to be purchased, and they had to be organic.
Just setting it up with the grocery stores and the health food stores in town was quite an undertaking. And then I had to tell them, well, I need a case of lettuce. A case of lettuce would last about a week, and that's 24 heads of lettuce. I need 50 pounds of carrots. I need cauliflower. I need broccoli. I need a case of tomatoes. I need a case of onions, and the list goes on and on and on.
Now these juices flush out the toxins from the kidneys. They flush out the toxins that accumulate, and once the tissues release those toxins, they go into the bloodstream, and the bloodstream filters them out by the liver. The liver filters them out. That's the detoxifying coffee enemas.
Which was bizarre to me at first, until I increasingly understood what it did and I experienced what it did. The expulsion of the toxins caused certain reactions like blisters in my mouth and hemorrhoids even, because you know the toxins are trying to get out of your body, and so they're not going out fast enough.
The coffee enemas help the liver let go of the mess.
And as he started realizing that these things were happening continuously, and then he started to see how much better he felt, that he looked, that started to make him realize, yeah, something is happening here.
Isa and Rebecca also employed a regimen of dietary supplements in an effort to rebuild his immune system.
We needed the supplements, enzymes, thyroid, B12 liver injection, acidol, pancreatin, so those had to be bought.
The body is so seriously damaged, it can't build up fast enough without some help. Most cancer patients are anemic, and they have to build their blood system, so we need to help and support the bone marrow, and that's why we also use B12.
And then there was the diet element. He gave us a contact of a Gerson practitioner who then told us, here's the diet you're going to follow in the next month. The diet consisted of no more than basically potatoes, done in any kind of way, and vegetables, like broccoli and cauliflower and asparagus, lightly steamed. And that sort of evolved over the months. It was modified over the months, things were added. And so our day was full. We did 10 to 12 hours a day. We were fortunate enough to be able to do it. And by the end of the day, it was like, you know, when are we going to rest?
The trouble with the Gerson therapy is that the patient requires rest. And if they try to do the therapy on their own, there's no way they can rest. It takes almost 8 to 9 hours a day for one person.
We went further than that. We did castor oil packs, and I had to lay down, and this was the last thing we did, and she put this where the enlarged lymphs were, right across my abdomen, and then my sacrum. I laid down, I had to put these on. It was oily and messy. Afterwards, I took a shower. So it was that routine, intensive. We went all the way. Within 3 to 4 months, something was happening.
Isa went to the doctor once a month to monitor his progress. Gradually, his blood panels came back cleaner. Isa knew he had made the right decision with this alternative therapy.
I think by the 6th or 8th months, I don't remember, I spoke to the Gerson people, and she said, one day soon you should do an MRI, another MRI, and they're gonna be blown away. I waited for 12 months, and I did the MRI.
And then we get this phone call from Dr. Harb that they looked and looked and looked, and they couldn't find anything, that everything was normal.
If you can imagine the depths of hell in being diagnosed, now it was the diametrical opposite in being in some place of elation and joy that one cannot describe.
I could not doubt anymore that this was a therapy that worked.
Isa and Rebecca had committed to the Gerson therapy for a full year. An MRI showed his prostate to be cancer-free, but Isa continued the therapy so his body would grow even stronger.
After that second MRI, 12 months after the initial diagnosis that showed me to be cancer-free, the Gerson reactions, as they call them, the healing reactions reached their apex. We were thinking of moving to Colorado while trying to do the therapy. By that time, the therapy had sort of been modified a little bit, so it wasn't as intensive. Precisely at the time of the move, and I had lots of energy, I packed up the whole house, got everything going, and all the logistics, and we left. Just the night before leaving, I had chills, I had fever, I had slight vomiting, and this is what they want to see, because it built up to a point where it means your immune system was at its absolute heights, and it was attacking the cancer aggressively.
Nearly a year and a half after he first learned he had cancer, another MRI confirmed that the disease had been eradicated.
I really think it's a miracle that Isa is alive. I cannot explain it, but I'm very happy for him. Having him doing so well is very encouraging, and we learn something new every day.
To do this therapy required a special commitment. For me, I fell into it. And once I made the commitment, I realized I had more strength and stubbornness than I knew. People have such faith in the paradigm of conventional medicine that it's very hard to make that psychological, emotional, mental leap to say that this can possibly work. And a lot of people don't do that because they fear that somehow if they abandon this conventional for this alternative, or even they supplement it, somehow that they're losing hope. And that's what I believe is happening to people.
Your body has that capacity to heal, and if given the right resources, you can heal. You can be cured of most of these horrific diseases.
I do my Gerson maintenance, which is nothing. It takes about an hour just to do the juices, and then the food is just vegetarian. And I have a different attitude towards life. I'm more positive than certainly ever before. I don't know if anyone can go through such an experience without having some level of transformation. Physically, I feel wonderful. People that see me, they tell me, my God, you know, the skin is just totally, different. You look, it's glowing. I don't want to sound, silly, but you just look healthy. And I feel healthy, I have lots of energy. It's just a different world. And mentally, this is the incredible thing, the toxins that are taken out of you helps clear your mind. I feel wonderful.
Those closest to Isa Caliph will tell you that his recovery from cancer through an alternative therapy did more than restore his body to health. The experience taught Isa that with concerted effort, he could gain some control over his life. He no longer lives with the persistent fear that disease is destined to overtake him. This newfound hope has allowed him to embrace the joys of life and those around him.